In Chapter 3 of Birthright against enemies with 100 crit, we are up against a large number of samurai and archers, who all have 100 crit. Here, many enemies are armed with iron weapons instead of only bronze or brass, making this the first chapter where we really need to contend with enemy critical hits. We also get a green unit Hans, who is even more useless than he normally is, as he charges across a bridge and is immediately one-shot with a 51 damage crit. Normally, it would be possible to force their way through the top area with Korin, but in this case, it's not even worth considering, because the crits will be too damaging. I tried to sneak through the middle by activating a Dragon Vein, but it's too difficult to move through safely. I do give it a try, but all this results in is Jacob being one-shot by an archer, causing a reset. This leaves only one possibility, which is going through their bottom Dragon Vein, but activating this exposes Korin to 3 enemies. Korin is barely durable enough to survive 1 crit, let alone 2 or 3, so staying on the Dragon Vein tile would mean almost certain death. Luckily, Gunter has a shelter skill even in this early chapter, allowing me to activate the Dragon Vein and then shelter to move 1 tile away to relative safety. Gunter is lucky enough to dodge the one archer that attacks him, allowing me to kite and bait the enemy archers away from the other enemies. Unfortunately, I don't really have enough damage to defeat both of them in 1 round, and it's hard to do chip damage on enemy phase, because Jacob, my only 2-range option, gets one-shot by them. But then I figure out a solution by baiting them further north to the forest, using the 1 extra defense to bump Jacob to just barely out of one-shot range. Jacob nearly dies eating an 18 damage critical and then counters for 8 damage, allowing me to defeat both archers on the next turn. I then move on to fight the boss, but I forget that moving into his general area triggers 3 Skyknight reinforcements from the bottom of the map. This is especially bad because I am very much out of position and they all have a 100% chance of landing critical hits. Korin with a Gunter pair-up can get enough defense to take 0 damage from these Skyknights, but if I do that, then the enemy AI will identify Korin as a non-target and will simply move past her to kill Jacob instead. So instead, I hide Jacob away and use Gunter with a Korin pair, which results in less defense. The Skyknights are all lucky enough to land their 100% critical hits, transforming what would normally be insignificant chip damage into a rather scary amount. Gunter is just barely able to survive, and is able to counter and one-round each of the Skyknights with his Iron Lance. With the mobile threats handled, I decide not to mess with the rest of the enemies on this map because they're honestly just too strong and numerous to deal with, and I move to fight the boss. As it turns out, because the boss has a 100% chance of landing critical hits, Korin is the only unit that can even fight him. Jacob gets one shot and Gunter also died from 2 15 damage criticals. The boss doubles Korin for 2 damage a hit, which translates into 12 damage per turn, but the Shuriken debuffs massively increase this as every point of base damage from enemies converts into 3 points of crit damage. This forces me to wait out the debuff every time I'm hit so I'm not immediately killed. Luckily, the boss is stationary and doesn't heal, allowing me to take my time, so I take this opportunity to have Jacob use up his heal set for free XP and then defeat the boss to finish the map.